So, how can we cultivate innovation? With teachers and in the classroom, whether it be virtual or brick and mortar, one-on-one is key. I think we can all agree that when you sit down with somebody who feels like they truly value you and want to mentor you, your brain ignites. You get that excitement, you want to figure things out. And so that one-on-one is really important. The next thing teachers and classrooms can do is project-based learning. And this used to be a phrase that would send teachers into a tailspin. Now, a lot of teachers have embraced project-based learning. And I think incredible things happen. And as parents, supporting those projects that come home can always be helpful as well, because 9 times out of 10, you're like, oh, I got to go find a cereal box. Who has a shoe box right now? It's 9 o'clock at night. But that project-based learning, that student learned concepts, now they want to tinker with them. Now, I put play and gaming on this slideshow a few days ago, and then I got up and watched the news and saw video games are about to make the Health Organization's list of addictions. So let me be clear. When I say play and gaming, I mean play and gaming with what they're learning. I am not advocating hours and hours of video games, although I am exploring Minecraft for teachers, and there are some educational benefits in games. But teachers and students need to play together in a way that makes learning not feel so rigid. The gamification piece is huge. We always remember more when we were having fun doing it, right? We can all remember that grueling lecture we sat through and it was death by PowerPoint, but we probably don't remember all the topics. But if we were playing while we were doing it, like we were playing count by 10 hopscotch, now that we're going to remember. The other one on this list is flipped learning. And flipped learning is exactly what it sounds like. Make students your teacher. So if you're a homeschooler or you're an online schooler or you're a parent who is in a classroom volunteering, make the student the expert. Let them teach you. It's one of the easiest ways to cultivate innovation because it gives them all of the empowerment, all of the engagement. And then the last one is STEAM. We need students to feel comfortable with tinkering, with science, with using technology, not just Facebook, not just Snapchat, but we want them to feel really comfortable. And the STEAM aspect, in my opinion, comes from project-based learning and play and flipped learning. We live in a world full of technology and art. And if you give students the freedom and the space, they're going to come to you with a project that they want to do. And if they're a reluctant learner, that might be the place you get them the most. Because they're like, oh, wait, I get to try to build this robot out of Legos, and then you're going to show me how to write code on my computer to actually make it move, right? So parents, for you, I have a few very small tips. And admittedly, I have been blessed to work with amazing parents. So some of these might be no-brainers. But allow for questions. And I don't just mean well, do you have any questions as a parent when you ask? I mean, allow for those moments when it feels like they're arguing with you, for them to really be arguing and questioning, because part of that might be age, but the other part of that is they want to know. The next one is encourage trial and error. Again, I use the story of my children learning to ride their bikes. Encourage them to try, and they might fall, but cheer the getting back up. And really watch the Meet the Robinsons movies where they cheer the science experiments that fail and blow up in your face. Because when something fails is when we learn the most. If we have students who are always getting 100%, I'm sending them back. I have a few students who don't like to turn anything in unless it's 100%, which is great. But if I get it back and it looks like it took them no time at all, I have to have a meeting and say, I don't think I'm teaching you anything. It's like, did you come to me knowing this already? And so we use that as a reflection moment, which helps build on the learning. But make sure that you're encouraging those error moments. It's okay to not be perfect. And then we have celebrate out-of-the-box ideas, like tinfoil on the tip of a pencil to work with your iPad, or a water bottle holder for your laptop, right? Celebrate those ideas. Give them room for that. We tend to get all caught up in how much time we have left to get something done, and sometimes we forget to celebrate those ideas. And the last tip I have is play. Now, a lot of our parents have high school age students, and some of us don't, because I tend to work mostly with our elementary school kiddos. But play looks different depending on the age, but all kids play. And if we're really lucky, as adults, we all get to play too. Maybe it's badminton in the backyard. Maybe it's sitting down building Legos together. Maybe it's doing science experiments in the kitchen with baking soda and vinegar. But play, be goofy, because innovation happens in those moments. Now, we all need balance. And I should have put the school versus learn graphic on this slide, I've decided, because sometimes we just need to learn it, right? And sometimes we just need to do school, right? Handwriting, that might just be a school moment. I'm just going to practice my cursive A. I'm just going to rote memorize these multiplication tables. Yes, I understand it's repeated addition, but I just got to do school version of it. Sometimes we got to learn, and we got to dig deep into those concepts, and we are going to build ourselves an atom, right? We are going to make that model rocket with a film canister and some Alka-Seltzer and see how far it shoots. But we need a balance. No student, no teacher, no parent should ever feel like they have to be an innovator all of the time. It makes me exhausted just thinking about it. So remember that when you have a student who's really engaged in some areas and maybe not so engaged in others, that's okay, as long as there's a balance there. Now, there are people who want to innovate all day, every day, and wow, I cannot be that person. There are areas in my life where I innovate. There are areas in my life where I just get it done. Remind your student of that also. I think that's really key as teachers and parents, to remind our students that it's okay if this isn't the place where you are reinventing the wheel. It's okay if for this one task, you do take a path that everybody else is taking. Now, if they truly don't want to, of course, don't force that, but remind students that as we talk about growth mindset and being an innovator and STEAM and STEM, that occasionally it's okay. It's all about balance. Now, I'm doing this webinar with the Kristen McAuliffe School of Arts and Sciences, so I want to talk about what we do here and how we empower students to touch their future. CMA SAS is one of those choose your own adventure schools. Students are put in the driver's seat, which at times optimizes their engagement level and empowers them to learn. Now, if they've come from a different setting, there's going to be times where they have what we call a re-entry period, where we're kind of pulling them along to get them started. But what's amazing about our approach to personalized education and online learning is students get to design some of their own learning. They get to create passion projects. They get to modify assignments. They get to open up their math course and start on assignments. And then maybe they call their teacher or their PEC and say, you know what? Instead of doing all of these worksheets, how about I put together a video teaching you how to do fractions? I'm going to teach you how to multiply fractions. So that's one of those things where then all of a sudden you're marrying together math with video editing with, making them their own teacher. And a lot of our students really like that. I have one student though who looks at me and goes, I just want to do the assignment. Right? When he comes to math, that's what he just looks at. He goes, this is my school moment. I don't need to dig deep and learn. This is my school moment. I just want to do the assignment. But on science, you better believe he's asking if he can make videos and collages and, teach his buddy in his club how to code, right? So again, it's that balance. But CMA, we allow for students to do that. We give them the room and the space for that. We teach them that information comes from many mediums, not just from their teacher. And in fact, a lot of times, it's not their teacher spoon-feeding them information. We give them access to books. They have meetings with their teachers so that we can act as mentors and guides. They can research their own videos, or we provide videos. And we really encourage self-driven research, which is so important right now because then they have to learn how to cite sources and how to make sure a source is legitimate, not just saying what they want it to say. Technology is built in. We're an online school. So students are learning how to use technology all day long. I have a kindergartner who can Skype me and send attachments. I was thrilled when he started doing that. Well, he's just one-upped himself and sent me his very own video that he edited himself. So that is just incredible to me. I have a 7th grade student who is doing her own website right now. She is doing her own layout and coding. So technology is just built right in. With the technology piece, though, students have access to their teachers and mentors no matter where they are. We have students who split their time between different continents through various time zones. But because of technology, they get to see us just about any time they want. And they get to do their school day when they want to. Again, I put that under technology because we want them to be able to access learning on their time. If you have a student who just cannot do school before 10 a.m., that's okay because their courses start when they want. Which moves me right into self-paced. We're a self-paced school. We're open enrollment. We are year-round. So students are given the time and the space that they need to innovate, to grow as learners, which there's no set time on that. I have one student who just is fairly certain he'll never write a paper. So his language arts class is lasting a very long time right now because he needs some time to grow and learn about that. Also, understanding takes time. I've never once been able to understand something just because somebody said I had to do it in 20 minutes. So that's how CMA lends itself to innovation, to the growth mindset, and to nurturing innovation in our students. I want to thank you guys very much for hanging out with me today and learning a little bit more about our school and how passionate we are about educating students.